Hey guys, if you ever want to know the real life of a realtor, you're about to see it live and in motion. Hey, you have found your way to Mortgage Sense, a common sense approach to mortgages. My name is Kevin Blair with Element Home Loans, and I've got Johnny Smith with Keller Williams. Hello, Johnny.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing fantastic, and you know what? This is a first for me. Yeah, I've done a lot of podcasts where people were in their cars, but you're actually driving. So, keep your eyes on the road. It's raining here in Chattanooga.
That's right.
You've had a morning already.
Yeah, so I've already had start to my day was to check a condo that I have downtown because there's a little confusion with locking doors and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure everything was safe. So I did that. And
Sure.
now I'm off to Saudi Daisy to a brow lot to meet a client at 10:30. So it's
Fantastic.
Real estate. Yep.
Hey, you know what? We've started this, and I know I told you this the other day. I started with the radio show 11, 12 years ago, turned it into a podcast 7 years ago.
Right.
And this year we completely revamped what we're doing, because what we're doing, Johnny, is going after the people that are still successful in real estate and in mortgages. Okay.
Right.
Because there's a difference with people, as you know. We've had a mass exodus of real estate people and loan officers in this business.
That's right.
So tell us a little. I want to know who you are, why you've been successful, how long you've been in the business, and tell us why you're still doing this crazy business.
So grew up in Orlando, enjoyed going to model homes and checking all that out. And then my company that I worked for 29 years had me move around multiple times, 7 different states. And so in the process, I bought and sold houses. So at the end of the last 3 years I was there in that job, and it was retail bookstore, a Christian bookstore, Lifeway Christian bookstores. I was there for 30 years. I was at Chattanooga for 18 years, right? So when they shut down, I was like, what can I do? And I just remembered all those houses that I bought and sold, and the process was a little bit scary. And I've had a couple of houses built. And so I thought, I could really, I love houses. I love people. Let's just do real estate. And so I started out in my very first year, I did part-time. I sold 3 houses. Okay. And then the next year was 7. The next year was 13. I made a move to Keller Williams. And when I did, I went to 30 homes, and we just kept growing from there. And so I also learned from Keller Williams how to structure like a team. So I have an admin and a full-time buyer's agent and a part-time buyer's agent now. So, and the reason why I feel like that I'm being successful, and I hate to say it like I'm being successful, but the reason I feel like that I get a lot of calls is because people are wanting someone who's authentic. People want someone who cares. People want someone who's going to walk them through the process and keep that process from, it's a lot of psychology. It's a lot of hand-holding. It's a lot of patience. And that's just kind of who I am. I'm full of all those things, patience, and I like problem solving. And when there is a problem, I try to figure it all out. So I think my phone's ringing and I'm staying active and all that because just people are referring me to other people and repeat clients at this point. This is my 8th year in real estate. This is I will finish 5 full years at the end of this year in real estate.
That is, you know what, and we could do 5 different podcasts on 5 different topics that you just talked about. I mean, there's so much great information, and at the end of the day, Johnny, it's about taking care of people. Okay, so what's interesting, and I knew that about your background. What's interesting about that is something about the retail business teaches us how to take care of people. Okay. Because we encounter all different types of people. My first career, 20 years, it was retail, and it was retail food business.
That's right.
And so there's something about having that servant mentality. That's fantastic. Well, I do have, because
it really is about that.
That's right. So I do have a pretty important question for you, and I didn't prepare you for this because I want it off the cuff, okay? Because I want people to know who you are, who I am, and how real of people that we really are, okay? Because it's not, everybody thinks it's a transaction. It's not a transaction. I mean, we both have databases that we cultivate, that we generate further and further and further new business. Has there in the past 5 years since you've been doing it full time, 7 years since you've been in it, has there been a defining moment in your career where you said, you know what, this is where God wants me to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Has there been a defining point in your career where that happened to you?
Actually, there was. So there were 173 Lifeway bookstores that I was part of, and so I had elected to be the very first call when we were going through some challenges, and that call let me know that we were shutting our store down. And so what I had done for 30 years was ending,
Mm-hmm.
and that very day that I got the call that I was going to be losing that job, someone else called me, and it was someone who said my mom is very ill and going into hospice, and I just need some help selling her home. And so at that moment, I was able to say, you know what? Even though I felt like my calling was where I was at the bookstore, that my calling is going to actually be, in real estate, and I'm going to move from one location to a broader location. So that's kind of what happened was that moment, and that was right around now, like 5 years ago.
And that happened the same day they called you to say they're shutting down.
Yep, they told me we were shutting down, and that very day, someone said, "Hey, come list this house for me." And you know what? It was like just kind of peace came over me about like I was doing the right thing. And so I don't have careers, I don't have like all these things. I have callings, and the
Right.
difference between a career and a calling is that a calling is something that you just know you're supposed to do, and even though there's challenging days, you just do it, and you get there's fulfillment there. And whenever you have a career, you're trying to build something and it's just building
Right.
on its own. So that's kind of what that is.
Man, I'm telling you, that is so strong what you just said there. That is so, so very, very strong because I had in my career, in my 25 years I've been doing this now, it was a career for probably the first 7 or 8 years. I mean,
Mhm.
I'd left the job that I had for 20 years, got into this, and it was like 7 or 8 years of just learning it and just trying to build it. And something happened to me about 17, 18 years ago that changed my world, Johnny. It completely changed my world. And I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that God has me in this position for a reason. Man, I appreciate you sharing that. That is so very strong. It's probably the strongest answer I have ever gotten because uh, here's in the whole basis behind what I'm doing with the podcast and is to provide great information, to provide accurate information, to provide 100% honest advice. And I want to deal with people that are doing the exact same things because at the end of the day, they've got people have choices. They have 2,500, 3,000 choices for realtors. Okay, just in Chattanooga, they probably have 500 different lenders, or probably now it's around 200 different lenders that they can go to and talk to. So it's about what makes us different. So I really do
Yeah,
appreciate you sharing that. Um, I
sure.
know you've got to get to an appointment. Man, I appreciate you being on the podcast with me. What's the best way for somebody to reach you?
So I have the most common name in the world, Johnny Smith, right? So you can find me, Johnny Smith, on Google, Johnny Smith Realtor. But really, my email address is johnny@johnnysmithhomes.com. My website is johnnysmithhomes.com. And you can pretty much find me there. My phone number is 423-488-1563. That's my cell number, of course, with Keller Williams. But Johnny Smith Homes is kind of my team, and it's been a great journey.
Well, fantastic, man. Uh, it's fun. It's nice to watch somebody that's growing. Okay, when there's so many other people that are not growing. So I applaud you for your hard work. We both know that there's something else going on. Okay, there's a
Yeah,
higher power behind us that's pushing us through this, and I appreciate
yeah.
you sharing that, guys. My name is Kevin Blair with Element Home Loans. Our website is kevinblairteam.com. The phone number is 423-488-7571. That's answered 7 days a week. That's our business line, but it forwards the calls to me on my personal phone as well. If you like this kind of information, hit like, hit subscribe. If you're looking for a trusted realtor provider, okay? Somebody that's going to walk you through that process, somebody that's going to take care of you, somebody that's actually going to care. Johnny Smith is your guy. Johnny, have a great day. Be careful driving out there in the rain, and we appreciate you being on the show. So until next time, y'all have a great day.